gentlemen, welcome back to another Bitcoin update. We've seen a move upwards on Bitcoin from a support zone. We've seen a bullish candlestick formation called a 3 white soldier candlestick formation. We've seen a breakout of RSI resistance. We've seen a move upwards towards a weekly chart resistance while holding RSI support on the weekly chart. We've seen some good things occur over the last few days. We'll be looking into those good things and looking into whether it changes kind of what the kind of playing field is for Bitcoin, whether the bulls have taken in control. Now, I do think that the bullish argument is slightly stronger. I don't think that the bullish argument is confirmed because we are still in a short-term and medium-term downwards trend. And so it is kind of the battle between the bulls and the bears right now. But I think we're seeing some good signs, okay? And I think we've got a couple news articles as well to show you today. Deutsche Bank accepting holding cryptocurrency for clients. And we've got another one including Bitcoin exceeding 50% clean energy, which could lead to Elon Musk and Tesla accepting Bitcoin payments again, which was big news back in 2021. And so it could be big news again. We've got a few things to look at in the charts and also in the news. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. Alright guys, the charts we'll be getting into today is the Bitcoin daily chart, the hourly chart. We're looking at 3-day chart, looking at that bearish scenario. We'll be looking at Bitcoin dominance briefly, recapping something we looked at in the last video in regards to a Bitcoin dominance breakout to the upside. We'll be looking at the weekly chart, and obviously the weekly chart right now, I've mentioned it many times. I'll continue to mention it until it's not relevant anymore. The weekly chart is the most important chart on Bitcoin right now, so we'll be looking at that, and we'll be looking at DXY as well, discussing the correlation between Bitcoin and traditional markets and how it's not currently there. We'll be discussing 2 separate news articles, one on I don't know how to say this, Deutsche Bank, German bank, big German bank that is holding crypto for institutional clients, and then we'll be looking at Bitcoin exceeding 50% clean energy and how Elon Musk said that Tesla will start to accept Bitcoin payments at 50% clean energy. That's the video. We'll start, and we'll probably do it in that order most likely. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. Before we do so, I know that was a misleading sentence, but before we do so, we'll go ahead and check out the VIP group on Telegram. I recommend you do that. Check out the VIP group on Telegram. We've got the information and results group in the description below. You can join for free. This is the group you will join for free, and you can see this group contains a couple of messages with trading results with a 79% win rate, how we got to that win rate, the specifics of every single trade, every single profit, every single loss, and then finally, prices, what you get by joining the group. It's all there on that free group, so go ahead and join up to that and check it out. All right, let's get into the video. So I said we'll do it in the order I discussed in the intro. I'm going to actually change that up slightly, but we'll start with the daily chart regardless. Basically, we'll start with the hourly chart actually, because Bitcoin has been in this range, this low range. You can see it reflecting the daily chart since around the 17th of August, as you can see. Just kind of chopping around. We saw a move upwards briefly on some ETF news, but we came right back downwards, and ultimately what we had the potential to form, and what we still have the potential to form, is some kind of double bottom formation. You can see that, yeah, we don't really have equal candle closes, but we have very similar candle wicks, right? Double bottom could look something like that. You know, big head, big kind of move up in the middle. First bottom over here, second bottom over here, move to the upside from there. Basically what we're looking for in the daily chart, and we haven't seen it yet unfortunately, we're kind of in between a rock and a hard place. We've got this major support zone in this green box, as you can see on the screen, and that is a place we tested for resistance on 2 occasions back here, basically on 4 occasions actually, if you're counting the places around it, 5 occasions really. We tested it for support over here, we tested it for support on every single kind of candle close in the last month basically. So this is a very strong support zone. It's a kind of a line in the sand for Bitcoin. If we drop below it, we're looking bad. If we're above it, we're looking okay. You know, we've bounced off of it quite strongly. We saw a very deep candle close into it. We saw kind of an equal kind of double bottom candle close, very similar to the level of which we closed in June. And we've bounced upwards from there. We've seen 3 strong green candles. That doesn't put Bitcoin out of danger though, even though it's a good sign, even though it's definitely a good thing, you know, and we didn't drop right through it. It still represents the fact that there's so many, you know, so much buying support here. The bulls aren't ready to give up. And, you know, exemplifying that point, we've actually seen a bullish candlestick pattern off of this support as well. If you see what we've got right here, we've got 3 very strong green candles bouncing off that support zone. What is that? Well, that's a 3 white soldier candlestick formation. And as you can see, it's a pattern of reversal. You generally see it near bottoms, you see it near bounces of support, you see those 3 green candles, and it leads to a continued uptrend. So right now, Bitcoin's actually in a relatively decent position for that reason. We do have a bullish candlestick formation coming off of a very strong support zone retest, which was also a equal bottom and equal double bottom to what we saw in June. I mean, it's not a bad situation to be in. Now, if you look at hourly chart, you can start to pick some holes in that. You know, of course, we have some sort of ascending channel broadly an ascending channel, maybe an ascending wedge formation. Perhaps we come down a little bit, but look, we can't really dissect the hourly chart too much at this point. It's been very erratic. I mean, you can see this entire range has been random spikes ups and downwards based on news. I don't actually feel confident at all to have any real opinion on the very short term for Bitcoin. I think that my opinions very much lean towards medium term and long term on Bitcoin right now. And my opinion is basically this. Well, we've seen a few bullish indicators off the support zone. For example, I didn't even mention this before, but we broke a very strong RSI downtrending line. This is an RSI resistance stemming from the 23rd of June, almost 3 months of RSI resistance. We tested that on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 if you're counting the break occasions. That's very strong. 3 months of resistance, 6 retests. We broke it to the upside. That's a strong break, and that is bullish for Bitcoin. It does indicate upside price action, but I'm not willing to sit here and say that I think Bitcoin is bullish yet, because I still think that we are in a medium term, short term even downwards trend. I mean, if you're looking at what we have here, we have lower highs, and lower lows. Quite simply, we are in a downwards trend still. It's hard to be bullish in a downwards trend. In the same vein, I mean, that's you have to remember, analysis is multi-time frame. Okay, so you have to remember that in the same vein, I'm also not macro bearish on Bitcoin, because we are still in a upwards trend on a long-term scale. We haven't formed a new lower low. If we form a lower low down here at 22K, then you start to flip bearish. But I think right now my opinion on Bitcoin is quite simply this. Long term, I'm still bullish because we haven't broken below the range, and we're still in a macro upwards trend, and we're still on track with everything cyclically. Medium term, I think I'm quite indecisive right now. I don't know what I am. Now, I wouldn't be putting shorts here. I wouldn't be putting longs here. What I would be doing is I'd be waiting until we start breaking above some of these critical yellow lines here. What are these yellow lines? These yellow lines are stemming from previous resistance levels, previous support and resistance levels that will act as resistance in the future. We can break above all of them. We'll be breaking above all those resistances. They'll be gained to support. We'll also be breaking above this high we made here, which would flip us into a medium-term upwards trend. And we would also, on top of that, this is where we get into weekly chart, be breaking above a lot of the weekly chart indicators, such as, for example, bull market support band, which is right above us, right? And such as things like we'd be breaking back above the top line of the Gaussian channel. We'd be breaking above things like the 200-week SMA, as you can see in green here. There's so many critical levels to the upside that Bitcoin will get above if we get above these yellow lines on a daily chart. And so I do think that the daily chart is very important right now, but if we want to actually just dilute that view even further, we can say that the weekly chart, as I said at the start of the video, it's the most important thing right now. We have weekly chart support on RSI, and this is what I've said over and over again. I'm not bearish on Bitcoin for this reason. We do have an abundance of support. We have support from the Gaussian channel center line, which is an unmatched, support for Bitcoin. Unmatched, literally. We have support from 50-week SMA, which is also a very important support line for Bitcoin. If we're looking at that red line on the screen, you can see every time we get above it, we see downwards. Every time we get below it, we see upwards. Or the other way around, I should say. Every time we get above it, we see upwards. Every time we get below it, we see downwards. If we go logarithmic scale, we can just zoom back to the history of Bitcoin and just see this, over and over again, really. I mean, it's a very important weekly chart support line. The 200-week SMA is equally as important, right? We've held it for support on a few occasions in the past, held it for resistance in the past. And what we have basically on the weekly chart, if we're bringing up all the important indicators, which I'll list out right now so you can put them on your chart, 50-week SMA, 200-week SMA, Gaussian channel, bull market support band, those are the critical indicators on the weekly chart, as well as the RSI support, okay? And if you look at the screen now, you'll notice that the price where we are is in between two of them as resistance and two of them as support. So out of the 4 critical indicators, we have 2 to the upside and we have 2 to the downside, and they're clamping us together in a very tight range. We don't have much room to move here. I would say, and I think this is true. I don't even think this is my opinion. I think this is objectively true. I think that if you're taking into account the fact that the Gaussian channel center line, the 50-week SMA, also the 50-month EMA, if you brought the monthly chart, I'm not going to do that now, all support the same level at 24.5K, as well as the major support line lasting over a year on Bitcoin supporting 24.5K, as well as the fact we have a double bottom, as well as the fact we've seen a bounce, a 3-white candlestick formation bounce of support, as well as the fact we've seen a breakout in the RSI. I would say that the support here seems a lot stronger than the resistance, and hence I would say that if I had to guess, and I don't like guessing, but I will guess here, if I had to guess, I'd say the bullish argument is more strong, or is stronger than the bearish argument at this point in time. And I'm willing to say that. I'm willing to say that the bullish argument is stronger than the bearish argument at this point in time. But again, like I've said in previous videos, like I've kind of highlighted in previous videos, I'm not confident in that opinion because we haven't seen a reversal yet. We're still in a short and medium term downwards trend. So it's hard to be confident in an opinion when you haven't seen a break of the trend. The trend is still downwards technically. So I'm not confident in that, but it's just something that I will say just so you know. I think that's what the charts represent at this point in time. Now, it's not a prediction. That's not a signal for you to long. I'm personally not longing here. I'm also not shorting here. I'm actually neutral. I'm on the sidelines. Until we break below this green box or break above these yellow lines, that's when I'll start making decisions on Bitcoin right now on medium term, long term scale. I'm not making any financial decisions here for Bitcoin. I don't think it's clear enough, unfortunately. As I said, I do think we have a slightly stronger bullish case. I think the Bitcoin dominance chart highlights that.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's a little news flash for you. You trust exchanges with your money. They get hacked all the time. They lose funds all the time. So the exchange you're using, you're actually trusting with your money. You're also paying them fees for trades. You're paying up to thousands, tens of thousands of dollars per year in fees. So you want to have a bloody good exchange, right? And that's why I have two exchanges for you guys, two options depending on your location, depending on what you want from exchange. The first one is Bitget. That is a KYC exchange. You can sign up from anywhere in the world, excluding the United States, excluding Canada, and excluding Singapore. Very low fees, protection fund, the whole 9 yards. We've also got BingX, that's our second exchange, and that is an exchange you can sign up non-KYC from anywhere in the world, including every country, right, with a VPN from anywhere in the world. Again, very low fees, protection fund, everything you need in an exchange. Both of these exchanges are top 10 exchanges in trading volume. Sign up using my referral link below to get a 15% trading fee discount on both of the exchanges. Again, they'll both be in the description. Referral link is there. Get on the good exchange and become a proper trader. Don't use these trashy exchanges that you're risking your money and paying over in fees. Guys, let's get back into the video.
We've seen multiple patterns form on Bitcoin dominance in the past, triangles, wedges, channels, and we've seen a channel form over here. We've broken to the upside, and every single time we've broken these patterns to the upside, on the day we break them to the upside on Bitcoin dominance, we see a big move for Bitcoin. Okay, you see 13th of January was a breakout, 13th of March was a breakout. If we go back to Bitcoin chart, we can see that 13th of January was over here. It was the start of a year, right? 13th of January, breakout. 13th of March over here. We saw another breakout on Bitcoin dominance in June. That was over here. And we've seen a breakout just 2 days ago, and that was right here just a couple of days ago when we saw the breakout in the price chart. So Bitcoin dominance is actually pretty good at this point in the market cycle in predicting Bitcoin moves. And we've seen a breakout, not only a breakout, but we've seen a breakout while on a major green support level that stems all the way back from 2017. Okay, so to say that Bitcoin is bearish right now, I think is honestly quite ridiculous. To say it's bullish, I don't think is fully supported. That's my opinion. I think there very much is a bear case that remains. I don't think we're out of danger by any means, okay? And I think, the bear case is very clearly this. On the 3-day chart, it's not necessarily 3-day. It doesn't have to be 3-day, but it's best identified on 3-day chart. We have on the logarithmic scale, we have a head and shoulders candlestick formation throughout the entirety of 2023. We broke it to the downside. We saw a sharp move on the breakdown, validating the fact that the formation was real. Okay, and that move is targeting this yellow line down here. That yellow line is stemming back from 2017. The bear case right now does suggest that Bitcoin goes downwards. It goes downwards to something like below 20Ks. And hence it does suggest that we break below 24.5K. Another part of the bear case is that we're copying 2019, is that we saw a def cross on the 3-day chart, all right? And we saw, a golden cross on the 3-day chart, and that led to, downwards price action after 3 significant impulses from a rounding bottom formation. If you look into what we saw on Bitcoin over the last year, that's kind of exactly what we see, right? We saw a rounding bottom formation, 3 significant impulses, and then a golden cross, which led to a drop. So based on that, you could say that Bitcoin is destined for more downside price action this year, and even going into next year. There is definitely a bearish argument to be made. I'm not discounting the bearish argument at all. I don't want to make it seem like I'm ridiculously bullish here. I'm not by any means bullish. I don't think that the bull case has been confirmed. I think that we are merely leaning bullish while in a period of indecision. I want to make that very, very clear. But the bear case is very much still real, and that's why I'm pointing it out here. But in order for it to be validated, in order for the bear case to be actually real instead of just speculation, we need to break below 24.5K. We need to break below this red line. We need to break below this green box. That's when it becomes real. As of right now, it's just an observation. It's just speculative. So Bitcoin, realistically, is still in a period of indecision. I want to note to people who keep going on about traditional markets, as I've been noting for the last year now for Bitcoin, I don't think traditional markets are much of a factor in Bitcoin right now. DXY is something that's historically very reverse correlated to Bitcoin. If you look back historically, you can see this is the DXY. This is the US dollar index, right? So this kind of measures the strength of the US dollar in relation to other currencies and assets. So what you'll see is that if you're looking at when this thing has been a downwards trend, it was in a downwards trend during 2017. That was the Bitcoin bull market. It was in an upwards trend during 2018, 2019. That was the Bitcoin bear market. Downwards trend during 2021. That was the Bitcoin bull market. Upwards trend during 2022. That was the Bitcoin bear market. What I'm saying is when this thing goes down, Bitcoin goes up. When this thing goes up, Bitcoin goes down. There is a reverse correlation. Now, as of recently, the correlation has been very, very slim. Bitcoin has been going upwards for the entirety of 2023, and this thing has basically been level. It's at the same point it was at the start of 2023. Bitcoin's seen a 2x, and this thing hasn't moved. Okay, even if you're looking at the last couple of months, okay, you look at the daily chart, you look at the last couple of months, all right, what you can see is that, Bitcoin has been, remember where Bitcoin has been. Bitcoin has been solid. It's been stagnant, really, since August 18th, but more specifically, since March. It's been stagnant, it hasn't moved. And DXY, since March, right, has gone all the way, right, all the way from back here, all the way from down here at 100 to 105, which is actually a really quite significant move on DXY. That's a 5% move on DXY. It's a big deal. But more specifically, in the last 2 months, it's seen a 6% move in a very strong upwards trend, and Bitcoin hasn't moved an inch. So this is meant to be reverse correlated to Bitcoin. This should be indicating that Bitcoin will be seeing a sharp downwards trend. Bitcoin's seeing nothing of the sort. It's just been stagnant. So I think traditional market correlations, if you fantasize about them, especially considering the traditional markets are so manipulated. I mean, traditional markets are the most manipulated market you can find. All right, they're very difficult to predict. If you fantasize about traditional market correlations to Bitcoin and how Bitcoin's going to get dragged down over and over again, like people have been doing for 18 months, you might eventually be correct. But the point is, for the last 18 months, you would have been wrong and you would have missed out on a 104% upside move in a matter of months on Bitcoin. So just focus on the Bitcoin chart, because even if you assume that traditional market correlations are a major deal, right, it should reflect on the Bitcoin chart. Right? Because that's your whole argument. Your whole argument is Bitcoin should go down because of this. Therefore, Bitcoin should be going down. Well, it's not. When it does go down, we can start to react to it, right? All you need to look at really is the Bitcoin charts. I'm being serious about that. Obviously it's good to know where they are, traditional markets, but it's not actually a major deal. It's supporting evidence at most. Even if you, as I said, even if you think that they are a big deal, it should reflect on the Bitcoin chart. Therefore, you should be able to trust the Bitcoin charts alone, right? Because that's how TA works. Things don't just randomly happen. It's very rare for something to randomly happen in TA. All right. So that's the charts, and I want to overview what I said on these charts. I basically just said that Bitcoin's on support. It's seen some bullish sides coming off support. It's definitely more bullish than it was 3 days ago. It's leaning bullish, but at the end of the day, it's not over yet. The bear case still very much is a thing. The bullish move is unconfirmed. Realistically, we're still on the edge of a cliff. We're still kind of just waiting for an actual decision before any real major financial decisions are made for us personally, right? I don't think there's anything that's really confirmed. What do we need to do? Well, we need to get above these yellow lines and we need to break below the green box, depending on your argument. I think the Bitcoin right now is still in a period of indecision. It's still uncertain. I'm not confident in either particular position on Bitcoin. I'm not confident in the bearish argument. I'm not confident in the bullish argument. If I had to guess, I'd say the bullish argument is a little bit stronger, but I don't like guessing. And I don't react based on my guesses, right? I react based on what happens. So that's my opinion on the charts. Now I want to briefly look into a couple of the things that's been happening in the news updates, okay? So basically, Bitcoin news, what's happening, well, there's 2 articles I want to look at. One of them I don't actually feel comfortable discussing too much. Deutsche Bank has allowed for crypto to be held by clients. So they're going to hold crypto for clients, basically, which is a big deal, right? Because this is I think the first time, if not one of the first times this has happened. Okay, it's not often that a bank does this, but essentially they're going to be holding crypto for clients. And I want to just, without saying too much on YouTube, because I understand how this platform works, I understand there is censorship on this platform, just really think about whether this is a good thing, right? Because a lot of people would immediately jump to the conclusion that it's a good thing that a bank wants to hold crypto for clients. I know that in Australia it's a big deal. Commonwealth Bank, for example, in Australia is coming around and saying they're going to hold crypto for clients in the future, etc. It's not actually, okay, I don't want to say too much, but just think twice before you think it's a good idea for centralized institutions to hold crypto coins and not allow you to withdraw them. What is crypto about? It's about financial sovereignty. It's about being able to own your assets. Remember the old saying, guys, not your keys, not your crypto, okay? And remember what happens with these kind of moves. Okay, I'm being very careful what I say here, but you know, there is a clear attack on exchanges for being too unsafe. Now they are proposing a safe way to buy cryptocurrency. Think about what that might mean for exchanges in the future. That's all I'll say. Moving forward to another article, we have 50% clean energy on Bitcoin, and Tesla, of course, Elon Musk back in 2021 stopped accepting payments from crypto, saying that when there is a 50% clean energy, in excess of 50% clean energy used for Bitcoin mining, they will potentially start accepting again, and that has occurred. Therefore, we could be seeing that news coming out again. And you guys remember how big Elon Musk news was in 2021. It could be big again in the future, so we'll be waiting on a decision from Tesla or Elon Musk. Don't get your hopes up though, because these people are very flaky, and they don't really stick to their word very often. However, it will be interesting to see what happens there, and if it does occur, it's likely to see some sort of surge upwards in the market based on that, and that will be some sort of black swan event. It's hard to predict exactly when that will occur, but it is bullish in a certain regard, so that's good as well. But guys, I think I'll end the video there. I've discussed quite a lot. Without further ado, let's check out the Crypto Academy. Become a Trader 10-unit course. This will teach you everything you need to know about trading. Remember that trading, guys, is player versus player. It's PvP, right? Now, if you don't know what that means, it means that you're kind of competing with everyone else in the market. So in order to make money, you need to be better than other people. You need to understand more about the charts. You need to understand more about trading. If you're better than people, you're going to make more money than them, right? They're going to lose, you're going to win. That's what it is. It's a game, all right? And you're versing your opponents, the other traders, really. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. And so if you want to get better, you have to learn. So we developed the Become a Trader 10-unit course that teaches you how to trade. All the information is on the website, including our email address. Check it out and email us with any questions you have, as well as a request for payment information, and we'll get back to you within 24 hours. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.